SeatGeek is the easiest way to find the best deals on tickets to pretty much any live event. Concerts, sports, theater, comedy, whatever you want. Download the SeatGeek app today and enter promo code SEATS to save $20 on your first purchase.
All right, everybody, it's Terez Paylor, Chiefs beat writer with the Kansas City Star, and we are back for another edition of Chiefs Game Plan. It is the wild card edition of Chiefs Game Plan. How about that? Got a great show for you today. So much content, more content than you could ever believe. Doing multiple interviews this week. Kick off this thing with an interview with Reggie Ragland, who's going to be a real key to this game. New inside linebacker for the Chiefs, has been really great over the last month. Had a great interview here. We talked about all kinds of stuff, including why he sees himself as kind of an alpha male, and why the Chiefs brought him here and how well he's fitting in. Next, I'm bringing on Jim Wyatt of Titans Online. We dissect the Titans offense, including Marcus Mariota's play, which has been a little uneven, but he's still talented. And then Derrick Henry and why these guys are so determined to run the football. After that, I talked to Cam Wolfe of ESPN.com to break down the Titans' stout run defense, and including a really good conversation about some of their more underrated players, which I enjoyed. And finally, the A-team came on as me, Sam, Blair, Vahe, and David Hewlett, as we wrapped it up with an extensive breakdown of this game unit by unit, and we play a new fun game called Where We Rip Your Airport. We also took your questions and answered all kinds of stuff, so got a great show for you. I'm sure you guys enjoy it. Let's kick this thing off with an interview with Reggie Ragland. Here we go. All right, I'm well pleased to welcome Chiefs starting inside linebacker next to Derrick Johnson is Reggie Ragland. Reggie, how you doing, man?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to still be and blessed to still be playing. So it's wonderful. This is my first playoff, so I'm really excited about this.
Awesome, man. Let's talk about your introduction to this team. They got you in the preseason. I remember talking to you then. It was pretty clear that you felt, you just wanted a chance to show what you could do. And you really kind of appreciate the fact that these guys still believed in you.
Right.
When you first got here, share with the people, what Brett Veach, what Andy Reid, what was communicated to you as far as what they wanted you to do?
And they wanted me to come in and just be an alpha male and be an alpha dog and just run the defense the best way I can, because they watched me a lot coming out of college at Alabama, and they wanted to get me at the time, from my understanding. But they couldn't, so the Bills, they got me. But right now, it's just for me to step in, stop the run, and just be a great teammate and a great leader. Basically, that's what they wanted me to do.
Now, I've talked to you a little bit. You had the ACL injury last year. You had to recuperate from that. But I remember you told me before you felt pretty appreciative of the way they didn't rush you back here. Kind of talk to people about that. How did they keep you going forward, man?
The first thing when I got here, first thing they told me, Reggie, we know you still had stuff going on with my knee, so they really did the end part of my rehab, make sure that my quad and my glutes and everything was really back up firing. And once they got that to firing the best of my ability, and my knee started to feel a whole lot better, and they eased me back into the practices. They didn't rush me back into it. And then once they saw that it was my time to go out there and play, and I told them I felt great, they put me out there against the Redskins, and ever since then I've been trying to get better each weekend, and we got.
One of the things that I think we've all been able to appreciate about the way you play football is, when you see it, you're filling these holes downhill hard. Right. I don't think guys want to meet you in the phone booth, okay? Right. How much pride do you take in your ability to win in the booth?
I take a bunch of pride in that, because they try to say guys like my size can't play linebacker no more because they want all these guys that's 230 and 240. No, there's always room for a guy like me to play this game of football. So
I like that.
But for the most part, though, I just try to go in there and do my best, bring everything I got, because I got these tree trunks legs, and every week I'm always trying to get them right to make sure I can get out there and play. But
you said a guy like you, what is the profile of you as a linebacker? You talking about a physical run stop it? Just what does that mean to you when you say a guy like you?
Man, they try to say guys that's 250 plus can't run. No, I can run for my size. I can do everything just them smaller guys can do. But I just try to make that as motivation and fuel to the fire to just keep getting better each weekend and week out, to show everybody that I can do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the Bills and the OGM, Doug Whaley and all them giving me the opportunity to play. But I'm very thankful for Veach coming to get me from Buffalo and give me the opportunity to play with this great city that I'm here right now in Kansas City. I'm very thankful.
I'm almost done with you, Reggie, but I got to tell you, this is the kind of game they got you for, man. It's the playoffs. It's January.
Yeah.
It's cold.
That's what I do.
Teams are going to run the football now, okay? Tennessee is going to come in there. You're going to see 2 tight ends. Derrick Henry's 250 pounds.
Old teammate
This is
of
what
mine.
you're here for.
My old teammate.
Right. Tell us about Henry, man. What does this guy got?
Oh, he got it all. I can't lie, he got it all. He won the Heisman for a reason. But my time playing with him, he made me a better tackler, a better player, and all that. Just going up against him every day in practice. So, but everybody has to run to the ball, and you got to try to corral him out there on the field. And everybody got to do their job. Make sure you stay in your gap, and you can't jump out your gap because he will hit it, and he can go. He can outrun these safeties and corners. He's that fast. So, but everybody got to do their job on every play.
And also Mariota too. He brings a little bit of that running element as well. Right.
Bro,
Just what do you see in him too?
I see how he can throw it. He's a great leader out there on the field. He runs if he needs to. But for the most part, we got to do a good job retaining him also because he's the key to it all on that team.
All right, Reg, last question. Hey, there was a lot of talk about the run defense in the middle of the year. Rightfully so. You guys hadn't really stopped people the way you wanted to. But let's give you credit. Over the last month and a half, you guys have been really good against the run. What is the biggest reason for that? Why do you think you guys have been able to get that together?
We just went on here and got it done, man. We just decided as a group we're going to get it done and just stop worrying about everybody else. The main thing is right now to make this run, we got to worry about the inside, the guys on the inside, the coaches, the players, and everybody that's here with us that's going to ride with us. Stay on the boat and let's ride. Cause like don't stray off, don't get mad because this is not going so well. Don't talk bad about it. A true fan, a true everything. If you're true to this organization, you're gonna stay in and not down us regardless. And that's the thing, we didn't care. Like what everybody else said, we just went ahead and said, okay, we're gonna get it done.
All right, great, man. Well, look, now it's time to show what you guys got. And I think fans have been waiting for this moment because this team's made the playoffs so much. And I don't want to see you guys get the AFC Championship game, get to the Super Bowl. And this is really the money time. So, Reggie, I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you. All right, good luck this week, okay?
Yes, sir.
And, yeah, man, look, this is what they got this guy for. Okay, so good interview there with Reggie Ragland. Let's go ahead and talk to Jim Wyatt of TitansOnline.com. Here we go. Okay, I'm pleased to welcome on to talk about the Titans offense, a man who has been covering this team for a long while now. Jim Wyatt of TitansOnline.com. Jim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing fantastic. Little playoff football, man. How many of these have you done so far?
I've done a lot, but it's been a long time. I mean, 2008's the last one for the Titans, and there was a run there when the team first moved to Nashville, when they ran it from 99 to 2003, and 4 times in 5 years, and went to a couple of AFC Championship games, and went to the Super Bowl in '99. But it's been a long dry spell, and people in Nashville are excited about returning to the postseason.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about this Titans offense, man. I think you got to start with Marcus Mariota. I had this guy having a breakout season this year, and it just has not happened. What can you tell me about what's gone wrong for Marcus Mariota? More interceptions and touchdowns this year. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things, and certainly some of it's injury. He's coming off of the foot injury last year, the fractured fibula that required surgery in December, and instead of focusing on the 2017 season, he had to focus on getting healthy the first 4 or 5 months of the off season. And he finally came back and was able to regain his strength and able to function. And I thought he looked good at the start of the season, but then in week 4 he suffers a hamstring injury that set him back for a couple of weeks. When he returned, he wasn't quite 100%. That limited him, and that's a part of it. But he's also gotten hit more than he did in previous seasons. The running game is not as good, so that's hurt him and put more pressure on him. And he's also dealing with some receivers that he's never worked with. From Corey Davis to Eric Decker to Taywan Taylor to tight end Jonnu Smith. So I just think a combination of a lot of that has led to numbers that are not quite as good. He hasn't been as accurate. I mean, he hasn't been as good. And again, some of that could be health. Some of it could be just a function of him not having the chemistry and the work that he needed to get to where he needs to be.
I want to talk about the running backs and receivers, but let's go to the offensive line because the Titans have built, theoretically, a line that I love, right? It's just big 6'7", Big Ten guys, it's my kind of thing. What's going on with this offensive line, man? Why haven't they been able to necessarily run the ball the same way they had been and then protect Marcus better?
Well, it has been inconsistent. I mean, there have been weeks where they've run the ball well. I mean, early in the season against Jacksonville and against Seattle, there was a game against the Colts where they ran it well. And then they came back home for a game here, against the Texans where they went over 150, 170 yards in all those games. But they've had too many other times when they've struggled. And, this past week, Derrick Henry goes 28 carries, 51 yards. How much of that's on Henry? How much of it's on the line? I mean, I think some of it's been it's been a combination of both. The consistency has been an issue. I look at the group, and sometimes I can't help but wonder myself because they've got a Pro Bowler in Taylor Lewan. They got Jack Conklin, the other tackle, who's coming off an All-Pro season. I think he's still playing well. I think the interior guys are solid, but for one reason or another, it just has not been as smooth this year. I think the group still has potential, and I think it's a group that could find its way if it can get a little bit of momentum. But it's just been inconsistent throughout the course of the season.
Derrick Henry's a big man. I'm guessing it seems like DeMarco Murray won't play. If Derrick Henry is the bell cow this week, what's the key to keeping that guy under control?
Well, he's got to attack it more this week. I mean, the thing opposing defense has been able to do, at least Jacksonville last week, is when he tried to get to the run side to side. They've got guys are fast enough in the league to get him down, and he has great speed if he can get into the open field. He needs to hit it more. I mean, that was his problem last week. I mean, he had a 13-yard loss early. I mean, I think after his. Yeah, there was a stretch early in the game where I think he had 4 carries for maybe negative 18 yards because he had a minus 13 in there. He had a minus 5, and so he was too hesitant. And Derrick Henry, to his credit, speaking about that game on Wednesday, said he was upset with himself and said he'd been upset all week. He said he thought he ran too soft. He needs to be more assertive and needs to run with a little bit more anger. So I think you're going to see a different Derrick Henry moving forward, because I think he was a little embarrassed about the way he played on Sunday.
Well, that's just what the Chiefs want, a pissed-off 6'3", 250-pound guy. Okay. What about this receiving core? I got to level with you, Jim. By the way, I'm looking forward to watching that game because I haven't gotten to that yet in my prep, but I will get there. I got to level with you, Jim, about this receiving core. I didn't think Corey Davis was the 5th best player in this draft, man. I just got to be honest. But tell me, how's he been this year? What's going on with this receiving core?
Well, I think he was the best, and certainly I can understand the debate there. I do think he was the best of the receivers, ahead of Mike Williams, certainly, ahead of Ross that the Bengals took early, and he has been, he has had his moments during his rookie season. Unfortunately for him, he missed all of training camp with a hamstring. He came back in week 2. He re-aggravated it, missed about 5 or 6 games, came back, and he's just had trouble getting consistent himself and getting on the same page of Mariota. I think he's very talented. I still think the guy's got potential to be a special player in the league because he's tough-minded. He catches the ball well. He's good at run after catch. But his impact has been somewhat limited because of the injury and just because it's taken time for him to get on the same page with the quarterback.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about was Delanie Walker. That guy's a really good football player. What do the Chiefs have to do to take him away?
Well, he's a tough player, and he's a no-nonsense player, and he's a dirty work player. I mean, he doesn't mind going across the middle and make catches in traffic. I think he's hard to cover. I mean, it's funny you ask him, and he says he's open every play, and a lot of plays he is open. I think the way teams have slowed him down is to double team him, to have a guy nearby when he catches the ball because he's deceptively fast. And that's the thing about the Titans receivers. If they could be more consistent and draw attention to them, then that would take some of the pressure off of Delanie. It's just the problem the Titans have had is that they haven't had a consistent threat at receiver to keep teams from being able to back away from Delanie. And but he's been able to do it even on days when he's gotten extra attention.
I see. Okay. All right. And last thing, when teams have gotten after the Titans' offense, man, how have they done it? What have they done?
The teams that have been able to slow the Titans down on offense is they've been able to stop the run. and they've been able to force the quarterback into mistakes. I mean, what the Titans want to do in this game is to restore the smash mouth, and I think what some of the stuff we talked about with the offensive line earlier, with Derrick Henry earlier. I mean, that's the way the Titans want to win, is by controlling the ball and having long drives, and by kind of wearing the Chiefs down, during the course of the game. If they're not able to run it, if they have games like last week where Henry was 1.8 yards a carry, it's going to make it tough on the Titans, especially if they're not able to keep the Chiefs from coming up with the big plays they seem to always come up with. So Titans have got to have a ball control offense, and then sprinkle in some Mariota passing around it.
All right. Hey, Jim, what's your prediction, man?
Well, it's hard for me working with the team now. I mean, when I was with the Tennessee,
never mind.
I used to be pretty good at picking these games, but now I'd have to be a homer every week. And if I picked against a team where I'm sitting inside the building, they may lock the doors on me. So I do think that this is. I will say I think this is a Titans team that I don't know if the pressure's off, but at the end of the regular season, the team had lost 3 games in a row. They were on the verge of missing the playoffs. So to win in the final week of the regular season, to get in, I do think the team has a little bit more of a bounce in its step, has a little bit more confidence, and it will be a little bit looser moving forward. And so I think they'll play. I think it's going to be a good game in KC. I know the Chiefs are tough to beat in Arrowhead. I know it's a team that certainly is capable of doing some special things. I think the Titans are going to be make this one that comes down to the wire.
Gotcha. Hey, man, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Okay, we'll see you there on Saturday.
Okay, so good stuff there from Jim. Here is my interview with Cameron Wolfe of ESPN.com. Okay, I'm pleased to welcome one of the best up-and-coming young beat writers in the business, a friend of mine. It is Cameron Wolfe, NFL Nation writer for the Titans at ESPN.com. Cam, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. Thanks for giving me the time. Appreciate it. Looking forward to breaking down this Titans team, specifically the defense. I've gotten a chance to watch these guys a little bit. This is a very old-school team. They're trying to run the football and stop the run. I'm interested to know what you make of this defensive front, specifically the defensive line. I know Jurrell Casey's outstanding, but what's the biggest reason they're able to control the running game? They rank 4th in the league in run defense, but is that because they're devoting a ton of resources to it, or are they doing that because the front seven is just really talented?
I think it's a front seven that doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, and I think that there's no really hole there, and that's what really helps them out. They've got a lot of solid players, guys you probably wouldn't know if you didn't watch much Titans, but these are guys who are really good at setting the line, setting the edge, and rarely get pushed back, rarely get bullied up front. You mentioned Jurrell Casey. That's their best player on their front seven, and he is a guy who sets the tone. He often is getting penetration in the backfield, and he often allows their linebackers to get free hits on running back. So there are very rare situations where you see this team getting drove by people. I think Ty Gurley was the only back in probably about the last 20 games to rush for over 100 yards against them. So this is a team where, like most teams, they say their first priority is to stop the run, but that's truly their top priority. No matter who is the quarterback or the receivers on this field, they all pursue the ball, and they have good tacklers in the secondary as well, which is key whenever teams are able to get past that first layer.
Who's better? Who's underrated? Is there anybody in this front seven that probably doesn't get the credit that they deserve for stopping the run? Like who in this front seven is a better player than we probably think?
I think the guys who you think of are probably the ones. I mean, the guys who really made this front seven come alive are Jurrell Casey, like you mentioned, Wesley Woodyard, who's probably having a career season at 31 years old. He was a guy who was a 2-down linebacker the last 2 seasons, but he's really upped his game, partially because he says he went vegan, and he said really helped him out. But now he's back to being a 3-down backer, and he's a guy who was a liability in pass defense over the last 2 seasons, but he's really upped his game. That's something you usually don't see at the back end of his career. I thought he had a Pro Bowl caliber season, but he didn't get the nod. So I think he's a tackling monster. He's a guy who can run sideline to sideline, and he's probably their second best player on that front seven behind Jarrell Casey. And then you got guys on the edge, Derek Morgan and Brian Arakpo. Those are 2 guys who they won't beat you with speed, but they'll beat you with experience and power. So those are guys who, you won't have to worry about your offensive tackles getting blown past, but they're always setting the edge, so they're not going to get beat to the edge, and they can technician you to sacks. And we've seen that this season. They've got 5 players that have at least 5 sacks, so there's no one guy that's going to beat you in the pass rush, but there's a bunch of guys that could potentially get home, and that's why this team's in the top 5 in sacks.
Interesting. Okay. Now, you can't throw against this football team. They rank in the 20s in pass defense. What is the biggest reason for that, in your opinion?
I think this is a very young secondary that's still trying to find his way. I mean, they've got a rookie corner who's actually had a decent season in Adoree Jackson, playing one end, and then Logan Ryan has played the other end for the majority of the time. But outside of that, they haven't had a consistent number 3 corner. It's sort of been fluctuating throughout the season. It was LaShawn Sims throughout the early portions of seasons, but then he got hurt and he's on IR, and now they've been sort of doing a mixture of Ty Smith, a guy who was mostly a special teams player, and Bryce McCain, a veteran who can get beat, and Kalen Reed, a second-year, 7th-round pick who hasn't played much of all this season. So cornerback depth has been an issue. They've had some miscommunications in that back end that have caused some big plays, and then they've got beat in the middle sometimes as well. That's an area that was a really big weakness last season as far as the linebackers, and they've improved it to a extent this season, but that's still an area where defenses can get them in between their linebackers and safeties when they play cover 2.
One guy back there that I know is a good football player is Kevin Byard. 8 interceptions. How's he come across those picks, my man?
They've come in bunches. He's a three games this season has accounted for 7 of his interceptions, and 2 came last week against Blake Bortles. He's a guy who has really probably had the most improvement of any player on this team. He was a part-time starter last season, the 3rd-round pick out of Middle Tennessee State, and he didn't have any interceptions, and he got the full-time starting job this season and really exploded. He leads the NFL in takeaways. He's got 10 takeaways, 8 interceptions, tied for the NFL lead in that. And really, he's just a guy who is sort of a cliche, but he finds the ball. His range is incredible, and then he's a guy who is he has the ball skills to make a read and immediately jump on the ball, and he doesn't drop interceptions. So if you throw something his way, he's gonna get it. So his teammates rave about him being a complete safety. Obviously, the interceptions is what has got him noticed, but he's a guy who can also come up and tackle, and he's another guy like Woodard that should have been in the Pro Bowl, but got snubbed.
Wow, okay. All right, so when teams have gotten after this defense, what have they been able to do?
Really, it's been the quarterbacks that have beat them have been guys that have attacked their cornerbacks and found the matchups that really exploit this defense. The Steelers had a lot of success with Antonio Brown when they were able to isolate him against the cornerbacks that weren't typically capable to keep up for him. They had a touchdown with LaShawn Sims early in that game, and LaShawn Sims, he's a ascending player, but he's a guy who just shouldn't be covering Antonio Brown. And that's often, the mismatches. They don't have a lot of depth there. So beyond Logan Ryan, those guys can get beat. And then because they're sort of a young secondary, Dick LeBeau will play a lot of off coverage. So teams will they'll give up some of those 8 to 10 yard catches. And teams have been able to nickel and dime them with a lot of comebacks and slant routes and dig routes coming back across the field. So I know Jimmy Garoppolo had a lot of success across the middle of the field, like I mentioned with the linebackers and safeties. Their linebackers sometimes bite on play action, and that leaves that middle of the field open because their safeties often play a little deep.
Interesting. Okay. Give me your prediction for Saturday, my man.
I think the Titans cover. I think that 8.9 point spread is a little high. I think the Chiefs win it. I think the score I think it'll be less than a touchdown, maybe a 3 or 4 point game. I think the issue for the Titans is going to be able to keep up offensively. I think the Chiefs will score some points. Maybe somewhere in the low 20s, mid 20s range. And I don't know if the Titans can keep up and score that number on their end.
All right, got it. Hey, man, appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, my man.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. See you this weekend.
Okay. All right, here's the 8-team roundtable. Let's go. Hey, everybody, it's Terez Paylor, Chiefs beat writer with the Kansas City Star, and we're here for a playoff edition of live Chiefs roundtable, Chiefs game plan with my guys. I'm going to write as Blair Kirkhoff. How's it going, man?
Not bad. How you doing?
Hey, we got Vahe Gregorian. Hey, we got some guy over there. I tell you, he gets no respect. He gets no respect. Rodney Dangerfield Mellinger. Okay, we got a great show for you today. We're going to preview this game in every aspect. We're going to get a little nerdy, going through the run defense, run offense, that kind of stuff. And then we're going to answer your questions. And then we're going to debut a new segment that was prompted by an impromptu 8-team group chat called Where We Rip Your Airport.
And prompted perhaps by the last airport we were in.
Just a hint. Yes. We don't like Denver very much, but we'll get to that shortly. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Chiefs are 10-6. They're facing the Titans at 9-7. And this is a home playoff game. I think the Chiefs are probably favored to win. I think by 9 points or something.
Is it up to 9?
It's up to
8.5 or 7.5. Okay.
Maybe went up.
And there's some good reasons for that, but there absolutely is a path for the Titans to win this game. And I know you guys don't want to hear that, but we got to give it to you straight. No chaser. So looking at going up with the Chiefs offense, let's start there. The Chiefs run offense versus the Titans run defense. Well, the Titans have the league's 4th best run defense. And these guys are strong up front. I'm sure you got it in here. Where the Chiefs rank? But yeah, this team is strong up front. I mean, this is a nasty group. There's not a whole lot of messing around, okay, in their front seven.
88 yards a game, I think, is what they give up.
Yeah,
what I love about their
88.8.
one of the great stats, they're high up in sacks too, right? They're in the top 5 or so, but nobody has more than like 7.5.
Yeah,
so
it's a bunch of guys
everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that zone blitz from Dick LeBeau, the Hall of Famer, and Chiefs' rush offense ranks 9th. But do you guys see a way where the Chiefs can move the ball against these guys on the ground? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't. I think you can break out the counter, which they had a lot of success using in the last time they faced the Titans. But in general, this offensive line's got to prove they can move some men like this.
So a part of that question is, can they win if they don't? I mean, if you look, I can't swear to this on the numbers, but I think their worst running games were all losses this year for the Chiefs.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to have, and we'll get to that second part too. Like, it's probably going to come down to Alex Smith. But any faith in this offensive line to move like a good defensive front?
It's been better the last month, right? I mean, it has played better since they simplified things in the blocking scheme. And just look at Kareem Hunt's numbers. Kareem Hunt, AFC Offensive Player of the Month, named today for the second time this year. So things have improved from where it was back in October, November to where it is in December. I've got a little bit of faith. I think these guys can.
Andy, we are talking about the NFL rushing leader, playing for this team.
Yep.
I mean, so I guess I don't give up the ghost immediately on that. But you have looked pretty deep at this and think it's untenable.
I think it's going to be difficult. I think I'm going to make them prove to me they can move these guys. I think, based on what I saw in November, I just can't get it out of my head.
I think that's entirely reasonable. And part of that is that they did simplify their blocking schemes, but they also got trucked by when they faced the really good fronts.
Yeah.
And this is a really, really good front. And, I'll say this. if they are able to run the ball, I don't see how they can lose.
I agree. The problem is I don't think they're going to be able to run the
Yeah.
ball, and I think there's something else to remember here too as we go to the pass offense versus the Texans pass defense. The Chiefs right now are averaging 256 passing yards a game. That is 7th in the league. The Titans pass defense is, you can throw on these guys, right?
25th and
239. So you
Yeah.
can throw on these guys. So that's the key. But here's the trick. These guys have not allowed a single pass over, I'm sorry, actually it's the run. In the running game, they haven't allowed one run over 40 yards this year. I couldn't believe that. And they've only allowed 3 over 20. So like they're gonna stop the run.
But
Now,
Chiefs don't do that anyway, though. They're not even with Kareem Hunt's big games in the last month. They weren't the same type of big games that he had the first month of the season, where he had a 56-yard run against the Chargers, and they were, it was more, 8 to 10-yard type of runs for Kareem Hunt. They're the 35-yarder against Denver, but he wasn't breaking them loose, not big like he was earlier in the year.
Now, here's the thing I wanted to point out. Now that we transitioned to the Chiefs' passing offense versus their passing defense, you can throw against these guys 25th in the league passing yards allowed. Only 37 passes have gone for over 20 yards against them. That's 29th in the league. So they don't give up big plays. You got to go to distance against these guys. That's probably a problem, considering the fact in November we saw a bunch of teams make them go the distance. A lot of zones, some blitzing. My point is, I think this is setting up like a game where if the Chiefs lose, it's going to be because of the passing game. It'll be because of Alex Smith, and it will make a rather clean departure to next year if they don't get it done. Like, I'm dead serious. This is not a team. This is not like a great offensive matchup for them. These guys do the same things that a lot of those teams in the middle of the season that gave them trouble do. So we're going to see for real. Like, this is it. This is the ultimate test. Alex is going to have to go to distance on these guys with short passes. Okay? And if they can't complete those or they start getting flustered, they're not going to score 20 points and they're going to lose this game. So this is this is other teams will have an easier time with these guys than the Chiefs would.
Well, you're right about one thing. I mean, the Chiefs don't win when they don't score 20 points. They don't seem to win defensive struggles. They lose 19-17. They lose, what would the Steelers, whatever the Steelers score was this year. They got to get to 20 to win the game. That's just how the Andy Reid teams roll. I mean, you're right. If the Chiefs don't get to 20, I don't like their chances.
Just a little devil's advocate or little tweak. I don't know how much this really matters in the big scheme because, he all season he hasn't been like a really prominent guy, but he's been subtly prominent. I thought what Albert Wilson did the other day tells me that he's ready to do more again this week. And that is going to be kind of, safety valve is the wrong word, but that's going to be an important part of this. As your point makes, Terez, being able to be methodical and go down the field passing. He's a guy who's getting them a first down every time they throw him the ball, basically. Mm-hmm.
And I thought part of the reason for his success, too, was the creativity of Pat. Pressure and make absurd throws. And I got to tell you, this is the kind of game where if you have a quarterback like Pat, this game's a lot easier than it should be. Because it's like, oh, here's your little zone blitz. Okay, well, there are holes in this zone. Pew! And it's over, right? But if you're going to be a little bit more traditional, and like they can scheme for you. Like, this is not like a great matchup for them offensively. I'm telling you guys. But the point is, yes, the big issue they were having in November was that, DeMarcus Robinson and Adams weren't on the same page. Not the same case with Albert Wilson. They have to execute offensively. There can be no mistakes in the passing game. So, yeah, Albert Wilson might have a nice game. He needs to play a lot, him and Ty.
Yeah, and he's been slowed with a little hamstring. Limited practice this week.
Right.
He's becoming increasingly important, as you said, Vi. Who'd have thought, at the beginning of the year that's the guy that you really, you can't do without. And, I mean, beyond the obvious ones, he's got to be on the field.
And look, go ahead, man.
Well, if the Titans are playing back and not letting you go over the top, maybe this is a Travis Kelce game too, and maybe he can maybe he can hurt them underneath, and maybe that's what they need to do.
Yeah, there's some stuff you can do to these guys in the short passing game. Like, they're going to give that to you. They're going to give that to you, but they're going to make you go to distance. And it's really going to be up to Alex to find Travis and really Albert Wilson. Like, I guarantee you he won't see double coverage. You know, Albert Wilson might have a game. He's got to play. They need him to. They got to shoot him up or whatever it takes, but he needs to play. Okay? All right, so transitioning now, let's look at the Chiefs' defense versus the Titans' offense. Start with the rushing game. Right now, the Titans are averaging 114 rushing yards per game. That's 15th. Chiefs' run defense checking in at a nice 25th at 118 yards per game. Now, to be fair, the Chiefs have been better against the run the last month or so.
Yeah,
they have.
They have. But this is absolutely the kind of team that we were talking about 2 months ago, coming up in here and giving them some problems. They go 2 tight ends. It's a big physical offensive line. The 2 tackles are Big Ten guys, 6'7", workman-like lumberjack guys, and Taylor Lewan and Big Jack Conklin. I mean, hey, the ball's coming. It's power schemes. It's doubling at the point. There's pulling. It's my kind of offense. Don't get me wrong. And by the way, their running back's only 6'3", 250. So.
That guy's a horse.
By the way,
Talk about Derrick Henry.
Yeah. By the way,
we know DeMarco Murray's not going to play.
Absolutely. By the way, great news for the Chiefs. Derrick Henry was held to 51 yards on 28 carries last week. Everyone's been calling him soft, so
including himself.
I'm sure that won't motivate him at all. He won't be running hard. Yeah. He'll be running hard this week. Okay.
Hey, look. Go.
I think this is absolutely a matchup that favors the Titans.
The only question I have is, look, it's kind of funny. The end of last season, the Chiefs largely lost that game because they couldn't stop the run. We're still sort of facing that question this week. How much better equipped are they? You think of Reggie Ragland for one thing, but how much better are they than a year ago, suited to deal with that?
Yeah, because guess who was starting at linebacker, an inside linebacker that week? Anybody want to take a guess?
Ramik? No.
Yes, it was Ramik, but guess who the other one was? A little impromptu version of who he played for. No?
I don't remember the other one.
DJ Alexander.
Playing for this.
The first 5 plays, the Titans ran plays his way.
Yeah.
Big difference. Remember, he lost his job the next week. It was Terrence Smith. So, big difference between DJ and Ragland and Ramik and DJ Alexander, okay? Yeah. There's a big difference there, okay? By the way, the Chiefs just traded DJ Alexander, who was a very good special teams player, but they just dealt him because they didn't think he could play defensive snaps. Yeah. They saw him as a special teams guy.
Right. That's why they got Kevin Pierre-Louis.
Yeah.
They liked his speed, yeah.
So, the top 3 of Pierre-Louis, DJ, and Ragland, that's much better than what they had in this game last year.
And keep in mind, we talked about the last year's game. It still was kind of fluky that the Titans won that game. It was, they missed a field goal.
They lost it.
They lost the game.
And
Andy calls a timeout to freeze on the coldest day of the year, as Mr. Hewlett will attest, to freeze suck up, and then he as he said, recalibrates and knew what it take to get the ball over the crossbar at that point. So the Chiefs had that game won until that gaffe at the end. And I want to say, was that the game where the Chiefs could have put it away with their final offensive possession? And I forgot exactly what the circumstance was. But
there was a horrific interception in the interception.
Wow. Yeah, there was that.
But an atrocious interception, and they had something like 5 third downs, brutal. 3rd and short,
and they
sometimes even second.
Remember, it was 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 at the goal, and they got lumberjacked by their defensive line.
Yes,
that's what I'm scared of happening again.
When I think of the offensive line's problem, like with strength going forward, that game is crystallized in my mind. That is the absolute best example of what we've been talking about for a long time.
Shout out to Paul DeSantis. Shout out to Brian LaBerge, because they answered. It was DJ Alexander. They knew. Kudos to you guys. Look, so I think through these 3 categories, I'm giving 2 of them to the Titans. I think the Chiefs are the better team. I just think this is a difficult matchup. Yeah. And we'll get to our predictions later. All right, so the last one, Titans pass versus Chiefs pass. The Titans right now are averaging 199 passing yards a game. That's 23rd. The Chiefs passing defense is surrendering 247 yards a game. That's 29th. Despite that, I'm still giving the edge to the Chiefs. Marcus Mariota's thrown more interceptions and touchdowns this year. He has not been good.
It's been odd to have. I know he was hurt some early. But it's just been odd to see him follow last year. I was so impressed with him at Kansas City when he came to Arrowhead.
Yeah, wasn't he like 26-7 last year with the TDs to?
Yeah, it was
now it's
terrific.
flipped.
And to have the season he's had this year is just kind of surprising. A step back.
I was dead sure that guy's going to be, and he still may be a star, but this has been a shocking fall for him. Just a shocking. And that's you talked about the yards, but that's the big one, the giveaways. They've also given it up 25 times on offense.
Yeah.
And I think Mariota's like at 15 or 16, something like that, interceptions.
That's 25. I didn't know that. 25. That's a monster.
They'll give it up. They'll give it up.
Yeah, that's a lot. Special teams, I kind of think is a wash. They got a great punter in Brett Kern, who's a Pro Bowler. And this guy's averaging almost 50 yards a kick. Okay, they got a great punter. Suckup, he's missed 7. He's had an okay year. Butker's better, I think. Then the return squads are kind of a wash a little bit. So, I think this one's going to have to be won a little bit.
But with the added, keep in mind that Tyreek Hill may be returning kicks.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
And that could be the kind of thing that can give the Chiefs the edge they need if they end up doing that.
It was funny how Dave Tobe was asked about that possibility yesterday, the special teams coordinator, and just immediately when he was asked if he had been returning kicks, how many more touchdowns do you think he would have scored this year? He goes, 2. And what we wondered afterwards, whether he just sort of meant that just, obviously we would have, or there were like specific plays that he saw the seam and it was like, if that had only been Tyreek. But boy, that changes things a little if he's in there.
All right, let's jump into our fun segment, which is completely random but fun for the A-team, so you're going to hear it. It's called Where We Rip Your Airport. Now, let me tell you something, man. Let me just tell you something, all right? If these designers, whoever's designing the new KCI, you got, if you guys do not consolidate the shuttle car companies closer to the terminal and attach it, I'm going to erupt. Not because I care. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm just saying in general.
Rental car.
People who travel.
Yeah.
People who travel absolutely hate getting on a shuttle to get their rental car.
Yes.
Despise it.
And I've actually, I can't remember what the circumstance was, but I've actually rented a car at KCI. I can't remember why I did this. And it sucks.
It does. It does.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Not as bad as it sucks at Denver.
There is no reason for an airport the size of KCI to have a rental car shuttle.
No, with the new terminal, hopefully that can be, nearby.
Right.
Phoenix is the worst. It takes a half an hour to get from getting your luggage to getting your car.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable.
Hands down the worst.
You can listen to an entire podcast and it takes that much.
They tell you to be at the rental car place 2 hours before the flight because that to account for 45 minutes to get over there. I just can't stand. And you can't find the place, by the way. You can't.
The worst.
Buckeye Street, wherever that is.
They make up for that because it takes 45 minutes to make a 6-mile drive in Phoenix, no matter the time of day.
There's nothing worse than having that, but the killer is when not just do you have to get on a shuttle to get to your rental car,
I knew you were going
you got to get on a shuttle to get from your gate to the ground transportation to the terminal. That is the worst. And it is, look, by that standard, we have a list. I put together a list of my top 5 most despised airports, okay? And I know you guys don't care, but this is funny. So, number 5 is Boston. Boston stinks. Not just because you got to go to the place where the phones don't work.
That's the number one reason it's
right. It's attached to that. It starts with that, right?
But no, that's a place again. You got to get on a shuttle to get to the rental car spot. Right,
which is a long shuttle.
It's a long shuttle.
Makes several stops before you get to your rental car place.
Yes.
Stops at the train station. It's just 3 or 4 stops before you get to
by the way, after you have to drive through a tunnel to get there.
You do.
To the Callahan Tunnel.
Don't forget there's a tunnel from your gate to
ground transportation.
Right, there's a tunnel. Because I always know there's a tunnel because you got to walk under it and you see John F. Kennedy just like, it's like, I don't think Kennedy would like this. All right, number 4 is Denver, where we just came from. Absolutely horrific. I don't want to feel like I'm getting on a New York City subway station to get to my gate, okay? That is the worst place you want to be at when you're late. If you're running behind, you are screwed.
You are.
And you know what? Nice catch. The thing you usually want to have as your ace up your sleeve doesn't apply there. We've all gotten in on TSA pre pretty much. The other day when Blair was stuck in line there, people were fleeing the TSA pre-line to get into the regular line because it was moving faster.
Was so backed up.
Another nitpick here. Why is there no A-list? Why is there no A-list line for Southwest? Here at KCI, not only do you get TSA pre, you got the A-list, so you just skip everybody, then walk right into it. That's the one nice thing about KCI. You get the double skip. But there, you don't get the double skip. I'm very much out on Denver. It takes far too long, and it just...
One more piling on Denver. All the good food is outside of their terrible security checks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't.
You got to
Yes,
choose.
yes.
You got to go inside where they have Einstein and McDonald's.
Right. Hey, or you can just go to one of the no-name vendors and just have a real nice apple. You can get an apple, which is good for you. Don't get me wrong. But if you want some protein, you're gonna get a real stale like turkey sandwich, and that's just disgusting.
One last thing on Denver also is it's way out there, which is okay. But conveniently, there was basically no gas station until the very last gas station, which is like $4.85 a gallon for 10, 12 miles on Pena before you get out there.
And you can't fly on Monday morning in Denver.
Oh, no.
That's like,
It's a disaster.
I intentionally take Monday afternoon or evening flights because Monday morning in Denver, can't know.
That was about your breakfast spot.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right.
It's snooze.
Number 3, the most pretentious of the 3 because of the name of it. Phoenix Sky Harbor. Okay, Sky Harbor. Like, really? I'm not going to say it.
You're tempted. You're tempted.
Really? You got the nerve to call it Sky Harbor like it's a place I want to be? Somebody here points out, Larry Looper points out, hey, plus Sky Harbor's 115 degrees. Then I got to take this 30-minute shuttle ride.
And it's got the west and east exits.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means. West 44th Street, East 44th Street. You always go out the wrong way.
Absolutely despise Phoenix Sky Harbor. And now we're getting to the horrific 2. All right? No, this is next one's not going to surprise anybody.
No,
it's LaGuardia.
Yes.
LaGuardia is a
Bus stop.
LaGuardia is a freaking bus stop. It's a bus terminal. It's Greyhound. It's Greyhound with just and like you're like there, and it's like there's just rows of miserable looking people.
You can barely get by them.
You can barely get by them.
Sometimes you step over them. I mean, sometimes you step over the people in the Gordon.
One bathroom, one men's room, one women's room.
Yeah. In the Southwest
thing.
Sam, I think you would like to tell people about the cab line, which.
The cab line. Well, first of all, anytime you can go to an airport that welcomes a lot of people every year to the United States of America, and that's their first impression. You gotta like that. And LaGuardia is also like during this whole KCI debate, you'd always hear we can't have a world-class airport, or you can't have a world-class city without a world-class airport. Like, have you ever gone to LaGuardia? But the cab line, when we went out there for one of the losses at MetLife, it was we were way behind the point where it said. The wait for a cab is like a half hour from here. That was like way, like we were going to be in line for like a half hour.
You aspired to get to the half hour from here point.
And then when you Uber at LaGuardia, you have to take a bus. To this other Uber point, at which point it is chaos.
I know.
Oh my God.
Chaos.
That place is just a free for all.
But having to take a shuttle to get to the Uber waiting area.
It's crazy.
All right.
But at least you're in New York.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good once you get in your black car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty good once you're out of there. I just punted. I'm like done. I got hustled by some guy. He's like, yeah, cat black car. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I'm done. My money. I'm done. Just get me out of here. It's cold. I'm done. All right, last one before we move on to your questions. This. I think I might be the only one that's put Atlanta here.
Oh no.
I'm totally
Atlanta's the worst.
ATL.
It has everything. Of the horrific like triumvirate of factors that we're looking at, rental shuttle, subway to the rental shuttle, and then just the worst. This is a place you need to get there 2 hours early.
No.
This is not a place where you want to be cutting it close at all. Because the people who work there literally would rather be doing anything than helping you catch your flight. Oh my God. There was one time I got there, I had like an 8 o'clock flight, and I got there at 6:30. I barely made that flight. These people are just like, all right, next. How can I help you? My experience at Hartsfield was actually the reason I signed up for TSA free. I was done.
That was it.
I just had it. And it almost doesn't even help there. Because that's another place with the super long lines.
Yeah, and the drive-in.
And the
always snarled.
God, that's a long
Travel tip that if you're ever going to Athens, Georgia, which I've had occasion to do a couple times, don't fly to Atlanta. Fly to Greenville, South Carolina.
I've done that. It's great.
A tidy Southwest, just
Absolutely.
clean, bright airport, no traffic. It's maybe like 70 miles farther. I don't care.
No, rental car shuttle
You
connected.
get there just as fast.
Yeah, rental car shuttle connected. It's connected
yeah,
to
it's
it.
right there.
Yes, yes.
Greenville's great. I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I take the chance of driving through South Carolina. I will willingly do it. Okay? As somebody who does not regularly drive through the American South, I don't make that like a point to do that. I will do that to avoid that airport. Okay? All right, let's actually get back to
Newark is
football.
terrible, too.
We've,
If I can,
Runner
if
up.
I can chime in
Yeah.
on Newark.
we've got a lot of good comments about these airports. This is great.
Denver is
Honorable mentions, guys.
It is. It is
Yeah.
pretty.
Honorable mention, Midway. I never fly through Midway in the winter.
They've done
No! How dare you?
a great they've done a great renovation at Midway.
Midway,
You should have seen Midway 10 years
Oh, yeah. Problem with Midway, though, is part of what you're talking about, which is it is really easy to have dominoes fall and suddenly your one flight's delayed, the
You
other flight, and
can't
you're
fly through Midway in the winter without having there be a delay.
Yeah.
Period.
No, that's true. That's
Yeah.
Okay, and have you ever had a flight rescheduled at Midway so you get to make the hike to what is it? What is it? The one, the E4?
The secret
Game Force Square.
Oh, yeah.
like Hogwarts.
It's
Oh my God, I hit my step goal already.
It is way on down. And then it's a half a mile from
It
there.
is.
You know?
It's a legitimate half a mile from the main terminal, but there is decent food there. You do have some
The worst part about Midway though is the drive. Like it takes for I don't know how far it is from like on Cicero.
Yeah.
Like to the
Yeah.
whatever the highway is at 55 or whatever.
Yeah, 55.
That takes forever. That might be a mile and a half, and it'll take
Oh,
you a
it's
half
like
an hour.
yeah, it's stoplights everywhere. I mean, it's like every block. It is a hard. If you're going from downtown to Midway, you allow a good hour.
And I also like it a little less now. I still like Midway, but I like it a little less now that they replaced Potbelly.
Oh, you were Mr.
pizza?
Potbelly.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Potbelly.
Really
Home run
disappointing.
pizza is the worst pizza you can spend money to get. It is terrible.
Especially, listen, if you're going to be in a city that has the brilliant Geno's East,
And there's a million.
okay? The brilliant Lou Malnati's.
Yeah.
You know? You mean to tell me that they're going to give us home run pizza instead of Potbellies? Are you out of your mind?
That should
Who
be-
co-signed on that?
That should be 643 pizza.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hey, may I just quickly throw this in? Can everybody just name their favorite airport? Because I got one.
Let's hear
And
it.
then I want KCI to be
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis is outstanding.
Austin's is
It's got-
second place.
I like Austin. I like Austin a lot.
Dallas Love for me.
The expanded
I love
Dallas
Dallas
Love.
Love.
Actually,
Very
Dallas Love is
convenient.
very easy.
Very convenient. So another
There
one
is a
that's
rental car
renovated.
shuttle though. You know, you gotta get on the
There is,
shuttle.
but it's short. It's a
Never in a
short.
car, man.
That's why you don't care.
And Houston
Indianapolis
Hobby, you know
is
what? I
great.
have no beef with Houston Hobby.
Yeah, say
Pretty efficient.
Yeah.
there's ways to have the shuttle without making it
Yeah,
untenable.
yeah.
Okay.
Facebook Live Public Infrastructure Edition.
Yeah. You know, actually, I'll also tell you, like Detroit's is connected too. It's not that bad.
Detroit's got a nice airport.
It is.
Inside, very airy. It's a good
It's
airport.
actually not that bad. No jokes, okay? I'm not entertaining your Detroit jokes today, all right? That is absolutely a request for Detroit jokes. All right, let's go. All right.
Thanks for indulging us.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah,
all right, well,
will
let's answer
this
your
part
questions.
make the podcast?
It will, absolutely.
Okay.
We got 12 minutes to work through as
Separate
many
podcast.
questions as possible.
All right.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
Seneca Fortune Sr. Shotgun won't work versus the Titans D. Do you think we should feature more formations with Sherman? Gives Kareem another blocker. In Week 17, Sherman showed he's a playmaker. I'm all for more Sherman. I like the way he runs the football. I think it'd be good to give them a little taste of their own medicine with power football, but I'm just not real optimistic about them being able to run the ball no matter what they do.
Yeah, I don't think they can pull it off.
Yeah. All right. Brian LeBert says, did you guys see the Titans injury report? Had most of their secondary out. Logan Ryan's sick. Denoris Cersei is sick, and McCain has a hammy. That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to throw the football. They're going to have a chance to win underneath. Jesse Bates makes a good point, says this team is terrible against running backs catching out of the backfield. That's true. Congratulations. You're going to have to do that a lot. They're going to make you go the distance. Is Travis Kelce going to roll?
He means the Titans are terrible against the...
Yeah. Jesse Bates says, is Kelce going to have a game? Perhaps.
I think he could.
I don't think there's a whole lot of guys that can match up.
I don't think he has a postseason touchdown. I may be wrong. It's in the book there. I think it's about time for him to have a postseason touchdown.
Yep. Micah Peterson Brandt says, with DeMarco Murray out, how do you think the D fares against Henry? I think Henry's going to get his. The key is like how much? Is it going to be 180 yards or will it be 118? I think that's if it's 118, they can win the game.
Right. If it's 180, it's the Steelers.
Anyway. He is. He actually's broken more tackles on fewer touches this year. Jeremy Weisdorfer says, does Kareem ever get a deep pass again like he did against New England in week 1? Well, trust me, I think Andy's going to have this one schemed up. Him and Nagy will have some stuff. I think this is a team that you can throw that against. They should at least try.
Did we ever see that play again? They ran it twice that day, didn't they? And a 70-yard touchdown pass.
You know what's funny about that play? Everybody in the league started running that play in week 2, 3, 4. Like the Rams did it. I think the Seahawks may have done. Like it's just everybody was running that play.
One thing I noticed while watching the last year's matchup between these two teams again was like the Titans ran the shovel pass at least 3 times. Yeah. So it's like, interesting. Kyle Fisher says, someone tell me why we shouldn't keep Alex. We could start Mahomes at any time.
Well, again, it's not a fair fight. The reason that you start. Hold on. Is the question Alex this weekend?
No. In next year. Why shouldn't the Chiefs just keep Alex next year?
$17 million plus the draft picks you get.
All right.
Fills a lot of holes.
All right. David Madsen says, who else might be sick Sunday? We're getting an injury report later today. So,
Economic.
Marcus Leach says, HU. Shout out to HU. The real HU, not Hampton. That's Howard University.
Ooh.
Jason Phelps says, how can we bait Terez into giving us some corporate facenda? Well, you just assured you will not get corporate facenda.
I haven't heard that term before. Corporate facenda.
I dubbed it yesterday. It was good, yeah. I was told to do a video recapping the season, so I used the corporate facenda voice.
Also, it can be heard on Dave Hewlett's Emmy-winning video of electric football.
Absolutely.
Can
somebody link to that, please?
Ever been on KansasCity.com?
That is
amazing.
By the way, Vahe, you came up with the script.
I helped with the script, but I think, as I recall, the 3 of us actually were cackling for about an hour, coming up with different.
As much fun as I've ever had there.
Different stuff. I mean, we really did kick that around. Like it was great.
Paul, I know Derrick Henry had 28 for 51, but he felt emasculated by that performance. There's no way he repeats that against these guys.
Against a good Jaguars defense, too.
Hey, Jacksonville's defense is more stout, okay? Those guys are good. All right. Nathan O'Farrell says, has Tano showed enough juice to get 10 to 15 pass rush snaps a game? May even put him on... this is not the team because he's going to give up that edge, and they will take that. It won't take much. You know
what I was really impressed with, though, from him in that Denver game is he got stronger as the game went on. He didn't do much early, and he was really causing them a lot of problems late. I thought that was a really good sign.
I agree. Don McCracken says, Alex to Arizona? Maybe. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah,
depends on who the coach is. I actually think Matt Nagy would be like a pretty good... Whoever hires Matt Nagy, if they don't have a quarterback, that's somebody that needs to look at getting Alex Smith. The Matt Nagy-Alex Smith combo... pretty good. I like it. I think that's a quick way to turn something around because it's the same offense.
Quick aside, you
like that.
You had a nice talk with Matt yesterday, and you outlined, you should check out Terez's story on it today. It really gets into it. Matt talking a little bit about the reasons to stay. What's your gut on, does a guy have to take an NFL head coaching job if he gets the offer?
Yeah, I think the thing that you got to remember is that he does have some pretty compelling reasons to stay, and I think I actually really do think there's a path for him to stay as a head coach in waiting, so to speak. But the fact that Andy Reid made a big deal about Nagy calling the plays, we saw the same thing before with Doug Peterson. I wouldn't be surprised if he got an offer. I wouldn't be surprised if he left. But I do think it'd be smart of him to think about staying. He's got the kid. He could be here 10 years. He could be the head coach in a few, or 3 or 4. You know what I mean? I know it's tempting to want to go out on your own, that kind of thing. But he's got a good deal here. Maybe Brad Childress retires. Then he can get the assistant head coach tag, get a little bit more money. I think there is a path for him to stay. But all the interest he's garnered makes sense. I think he's the best head coaching candidate they've had on the staff in a long time.
Well, Vahe asked the right question, though. When you've never been a head coach, do you take the first job that's offered? Can you play that game?
If anybody doesn't do it, it's Nagy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he really likes it.
Interesting.
By the way,
I think you got to get the right place, because I think you can get ruined. Just like a quarterback going to the wrong franchise.
Yeah.
You can get ruined as a head coach going to the wrong place.
Well,
he may have ruined himself.
He may not have been the franchise.
By the way,
Get well soon, Todd.
by the way, one of the best.
That's Blair Singer right there.
Oh, he hurt himself this weekend.
He hurt himself.
He hurt himself.
He's on the IR.
Mike Wilson says, is Adoree Jackson, an all juice guy, by the way, getting his wish on Saturday? #bump. Adoree Jackson talking a little trash to Ty Hill.
Yeah.
I like Adoree. That's one of the reasons I like him. He's a competitive guy, and the kid can run. He ain't Ty. I wouldn't be asking for to get in a foot race with Ty Hill. You know what I mean? If they want to give it to him, I'd be shocked if they gave that to him.
I couldn't fit this in a story I did on Ty the other day, but he made a point of saying, "No man scares me, except for sometimes when Justin Houston looks at me." So, but his broader point was he's not intimidated by anybody on the Tennessee side.
That's strong.
Okay. Nathan White says, do you think Darrelle Revis has made any impact? Seemed like he's been targeted less than that first game. Yeah, I think he has. He's a really good number 3 guy for you right now.
Yeah.
And he's protection in case somebody gets hurt. I still like Terrence Mitchell as a player, but the fact is, he was benched in the middle of the season because of mental mistakes. You can't really have that. This is the kind of game you can't have that at all. And I think the Chiefs signed Revis knowing that. This is the kind of game where the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win. And it's typically like that in the playoffs.
I thought Revis, his first game looked like it was his first game. You know what I mean? And ever since then, he's sort of risen up a little bit.
Mike Wilson says, if KC somehow wins the Super Bowl, will Alex retire? I don't think so. I think he's going to keep on balling.
No.
Aaron Davis says, what do the papers think? Do we want Buffalo to win this week?
Yes. Yes.
Because for the A team, that's the difference between going to Pittsburgh and going to New England.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Go Bills.
The last thing we want is to go to Foxborough. That's going to be brutal.
Don't want to do
the only thing, I will tell you, the only thing that press box food there is good. I think we've all agreed that, right? They got the clam chowder.
That chowder is not worth the trouble, though.
Whereas Pittsburgh's airport is
Fine airport.
Fine airport.
Yeah. And walk across the street to the rental car.
so.
But, so sorry, we just threw our personal interest in here. But even like for the Chiefs, I think, we might have some disagreement on this. I feel like I'm in the minority. I think they have a better chance of winning in Pittsburgh. Do you guys agree with that?
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we have some disagreement.
I don't know. I see that front seven.
I agree,
and
but I think you're facing it in like he's great too. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, but you're not facing Tom Brady. You know, it's a lesser quarterback.
I think I would agree.
And there are some moments. If you go, I can't remember why I did this, but a couple weeks ago I went back and watched that Pittsburgh game again. Their defense is really good, right? Like it's strong and all that stuff, but it's stronger than it is fast. You know what I mean? So there's some chances, there's some opportunities to get some big plays on them. And they haven't done that. And I also want to umbrella this by saying I think the Chiefs will lose either place, but I think they have a better chance in Pittsburgh.
Also, let's not underestimate losing Shazier for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Shazier is he is an outstanding player.
And I think Reggie Ragland makes a bigger difference in that game. He wasn't there for the regular season game.
I also think there's something to be said for the fact that no one's going to pick the Chiefs to win that game, and at that point, facing the Steelers in Pittsburgh becomes like a manhood redemption game.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot to be said for that, and
Did I turn you?
How about this? If the Chiefs win this game and the Bills end up winning and the Chiefs end up facing the Steelers, I think I would pick the Chiefs to win that game.
How about that?
Then they would lose to New England the next game.
Oh,
But
yeah, for sure.
how about that? All right, fellas, predictions.
Go Bills.
Let's go. We got 2 minutes. Predictions. Let's go right here. What do you got?
23-16 Chiefs, a lot of field goals.
I got 20-17 Chiefs. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be nasty. But I pick the Chiefs to win.
I got 27-14 Chiefs, which is basically their average score of every game for the last 5 or 6 weeks, except for Denver.
I wish I could remember. I gave a prediction to my friend Joe Rexroad, who works for the Tennessean, and I can't remember. So I'll either just copy that score, or if this is off a little bit, 27-17. I think the Chiefs will win.
All right, love it. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, go to KansasCity.com for all your Chiefs news. Rate and review our podcast, Sports Beat KC, please, and not the 4 stars, right? I appreciated that love in the Mellinger minutes. That needs to be like a consistent ending, by the way.
Yeah, save get key.
yeah.
Just boom.
That was that was a verbal typing too. So, no 4 stars.
5 stars, Sports BKC. Rate and review us, please. We would appreciate that. And we got a great special section coming, right, for Saturday's game. Make sure you pick up Saturday's version of the Star. It will be a separate section just with Chiefs coverage. All of us have put in big time work. There's an expanded Chiefs game plan that's bordering on 5,000 words because I'm out of my mind. I'm doing a really neat story
For the wild card round?
Yeah, I'm out of my mind. I'm doing a really neat story on Reggie Ragland and Derek Johnson and their burgeoning friendship and how that's changed the core of the Chiefs' defense. Blair, what do you got?
Little Travis Kelce.
Growing up.
You haven't seen him with an unsportsmanlike conduct
That's
penalty
right.
in months.
That's right. And that's real too.
I got Andy Reid and the little void on his resume.
Ooh, nice.
The Chiefs and a little void on their resume is one of them, and then Alex Smith.
All right, fantastic. All right, thank you guys. We appreciate you. Enjoy the game. We'll see you then.